A little bit about growing up, it's a little bit about family, and it's a little bit about improvising. Please join me in welcoming Ray Alford.
Hello, how is everyone doing today? My name is Ray Alford, and today marks 21 years to the day of me getting out of the military. So I thought it would be only right that I did a military story. So here's my first holiday as a father. Holidays was always a special time in my family. In the immortal words of the late great Tupac Shakur, Mama made miracles every Thanksgiving. We had traditional food, turkey, fried turkey, ham with the pineapples with the cherry on top, rice dressing or dirty rice, and my grandmother would make sweet potato pies and cakes. And while Mom was in the kitchen making magic, it was my dad's job to entertain the guests, which he usually did by the bar. Why by the bar, I have no idea, but everybody that was by the bar seemed to be in great spirits, right? So it was also by the bar where my dad would tell these amazing stories of his time in the military, about the time that he accidentally ran with the bulls, and his trips to Portugal and Italy. And for people that thought that he was pulling their leg or he was joking, he had a little black box. I called it the treasure chest, right? Inside of this box, he had pictures of his travels abroad, and he had old letters postmarked from all over the world. The letters smelled like seawater, white diamonds, and Old Spice. And just when his stories were getting to the climax and to the pinnacle, 3 words were said to me that no child during holiday break wants to hear. Time for bed. You know, what are you talking about, time for bed? You know, I'm grown. I'm 8 years old. I don't wet the bed no more, and I don't sleep with a nightlight. You know, you gotta give me some kind of respect. But no, it didn't happen like that, and I had to take the walk of shame up the stairs. And before I would take the walk of shame, you know, my dad would he would stop me. He'd be like, "Come here." I'd be like, "Yes, sir." And he'd be like, I have tears running down my face. He'd be like, "There's no crying during the holidays, son. We're blessed." And you know, at the time, you know, I was 8 years old. I couldn't wrap my head around what he was saying. So he was going to tell me that about 5 to 100,000 times that night, you know. What are you talking about, Dad? I need to hear this story that you're telling. You know, I need to find out what happens when you was running with the bulls and stuff like that. And he wasn't having it, you know. There's no crying during the holidays, son. We're blessed. Fast forward to 1998. Now I'm in the service. I'm in the Navy, in a helicopter squadron. I'm attached to the USS Independence and the USS Kitty Hawk. They're aircraft carriers. They're forward deployed, stationed in Japan. Being forward deployed means that we're always out. We're never there. We're missing all the holidays. We're always gone. We're always out to sea. I had 3 friends. I had more than 3 friends, but I had 3 friends that would write me all the time, especially during the holidays. Like, they never missed a beat. Shanitra, Thelma, and LaShawn. They would make sure to write me every holiday. And you know, the thing that made me remember about it was that, usually if they were doing something, like say they were eating crawfish or they were cooking gumbo or something, the lettuce smelled like it, right? Like you could smell the seafood or you could smell the gumbo or the roux. And they didn't know at the time, but it helped to bring home a little bit closer when you're out in the water and you're out at sea. So they helped me, in ways they probably have no idea, because you get homesick. And just to smell that seafood, that your family's out there having a good time, or your friends are having a good time, that meant the world to you. Also, I met a beautiful Asian woman. We got engaged, and we have a kid on the way now. So, the night before my son was born, I had a dream. Well, the morning of my son being born, I had a dream that he was born with this huge, big tomato nose, right? I know I'm wrong, right? But I just knew he was going to come out with this huge, humongous nose. And I woke up and my arms were flailing, and I was, she's like, what's wrong? And I'm like, the nose. And she's like, no. She's like, but since you're up, you need to go to work or whatever. So I get up and I get dressed and I go to work. And about 4 to 6 hours later, maybe, I get a call saying that I need to hurry up and get to the hospital. My child is on the way. Now, the whole time, the doctors are telling us, we're going to have a girl. So, I'm excited and I'm wrapping my head around it. I'm going to have a little girl with a big nose, probably. So I get to the hospital, it's a 4-hour train ride, and I get there. And when I get to the door, I hear screaming in Japanese and English. Right? The nurses and administration is just looking at me, shaking their head, and I'm like, what? And so I walk. I didn't have to ask for directions. I just followed the screens. And I went straight to the room. And, it was like, well, before you go in the room, you got to get dressed. You can't just walk in. You got to put on scrubs and stuff. So I went into this room, and it was an amazing room, right? They had scrubs and all kind of medical stuff. And I put the scrubs on, and I just started grabbing stuff that probably didn't even need, right? I grabbed some rubber boots, right? Some gloves that came about right here. I got the face mask, and I got the face guard to go with it. Right? I looked like a reject from Grey's Anatomy. So I'm ready. So I thought, I'm ready. I walk in the room, and it looked like a scene from Exorcist. Like when I walked in, her head went. I was scared, but I couldn't show it. So I walk up to her, and I'm trying to be as comforting as I can because this is my first child. I didn't read the Dummies, Babies for Dummy book or whatever, so I'm lost. And so I thought, well, maybe you should just give her a helping hand. Right. So I gave her my hand, and the next thing I knew, my arm was behind my back. She was twisted. And luckily for me, like bells and whistles start going off inside the room. And they unloosened my arm from her. They ushered me out the room. And when they ushered me out the room, I'm outside the room and I'm pacing back and forth, and I don't know what's going on. I'm totally worried. And about 10 minutes later, a nurse comes out, and the nurse is she's like, "Happy birthday." And I'm like, huh? And she's like, she says it again, "Happy birthday." And I'm like, well, maybe my fiance, you know, even though she's pregnant and having a baby at this time, told her that my birthday was 11 days ago. And just felt like I'm such a great guy that, you know, maybe she should tell the nurse to go out there and tell me happy birthday. And so I told her, thank you. And she gave me like the side eye, like, you know, like, what? And so she says, "Gomenasai," which means I'm sorry in Japanese. And so she says, "Congratulations." Yeah. So I'm like, oh, my daughter's here, and I'm so happy and I'm so excited. I don't know whether to pass out cigars or chopsticks because, you know, I'm in Asia, so I don't know like the customs and stuff, right? So I don't know what to do, but I'm happy and I'm excited. And I look back to the nurse and she's still giving me the side eye. So I'm like, what? And she's like, not daughter, son. I passed out. That's what they said, I passed out. When I woke up, I was in the bed next to her. And they had me, my son, and I'm so excited, and you know, emotions coming over me. And the first thing I did was take the cover off to see what his nose looked like, right? I'm good. But my happiness was like short-lived because, like I said, I'm forward deployed, so we wind up having to leave for in like 7 days. We leave and we go out to sea, but they're telling us that this is September, so they're telling us we'll be back the day before Thanksgiving. So I'm like, wow, you know, like, I'm happy because, you know, we haven't spent a holiday on base, you know, ever. And I'm also happy because I have my child, you know, to go back to spend a holiday with. So I get a letter, maybe a week before we're scheduled to pull back in the port. And the letter is from my fiance, and it's thick, and it got like, I know it has like a bunch of letters and stuff on it. You know, when I open it, it's a bunch of letters and pictures of my child and her and stuff. And you know, the strangest thing happened. You know, I put the letters up on my rack and, you know, all around my bed and stuff like that. So when I wake up, I can see my son and stuff. But when I pass the letter, you know, usually, I don't know about you guys, but usually when you get a letter back then, you know, when we used to write letters, if it was from a lady friend or a female, they would spray perfume or something like that on it, right? So, you know, usually that's what she would do. And when I smelled it, you know, I smelled her perfume, but I smelled something else. I smelled my son, you know? And it just made me, I would have swam the ocean, you know what I'm saying, to get back at that time, you know, like that touched me so deep. Also, me and my shipmates, we decided that we was going to do a Thanksgiving since we had never did a holiday before. The only bad part was that by the time we made it back to base, the commissary was empty. There was not a turkey to be had, shot, nothing. I guess the president had pardoned all of them, I don't know. So we had to improvise, right? We did instant mashed potatoes. Somebody had a box of potatoes. Another guy found like 2 packs of chicken legs. We fried those. Another guy went to the store and got some 7-Eleven sushi. It was like the worst, best Thanksgiving ever. So once everybody left that night, you know, I walked down the last person and I walked back into the room. I heard my son crying. So I walked to the room where he's at and I pick him up and you know, I kind of lifted them up like this, kind of like in Lion King, like when they had the Mufasa and Simba. Yeah. So I have them up like this, and I looked at them, and I told them, there's no crying during the holidays, son.
One more time for Ray. There's so many elements to that story, but I feel like everyone could relate to that in some way, for sure. And keeping the theme rolling, the holidays, everybody kind of celebrates the holidays differently. And you have a Thanksgiving, you have a turkey at Thanksgiving, sometimes you have a turkey at Christmas. But our next story is about a holiday with a different kind of bird. So please join me in welcoming Reagan Kuzan.
It's only going live.